Guys, we made it. I can't believe we made it. It is officially the year 2021. Absolutely mind-blowing, right? Never thought we would get here. I'm sure many of you thought we would never get to this point, but we made it, hopefully, and I'm sure of it, it's gonna be an absolutely amazing year. It is so good to see all of your smiling faces back on the channel. And if you're new smiling face and I've never seen you before, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now because we have a lot of awesome gecko videos coming out your way and you don't wanna miss that. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started with today's video, meaning the first video of 2021. And I just wanted to shoot something really casual and show you all basically what I've been working on and talk a little bit about these terrariums behind me right here. These are bioactive terrariums. So I'm sure the majority of you already know what I'm talking about when I say the term bioactive, but for you guys that don't know, just real quick, I'm not gonna go into too much detail, just a brief overview. A bioactive terrarium is really a living, breathing, natural miniature ecosystem that's on a continuous cycle. So you have a few main parts where the first one is you have living plants in here that are rooted in natural substrate. And then another main component is the microfauna, which is also referred to as the cleanup crew. They're essentially these little tiny bugs consisting of mostly isopods and springtails. And these little bugs will help eat up all the mold growth, fungi growth, keep your setup super fresh. And if you're keeping reptiles in here, they're even gonna eat up the animal's waste and essentially fertilize the substrate, allowing for the plants to grow bigger and healthier. Now with that, there are a few benefits to having a bioactive setup. The first being the most obvious is it's absolutely beautiful. It's just, I find myself completely lost sometimes when I walk up to it and I'm just in complete awe when I see a beautiful terrarium where I'm just looking at the plants and how everything just complements each other. It looks so natural. It almost looks like you cut out a little cube from a rainforest or jungle and placed it in your house. But I truly believe these setups are in most cases, the best option if you are keeping a reptile as a pet. You can't really duplicate nature itself, but this sure does come like ridiculously close, especially in some of the setups I've seen some of my friends build before. You can do some pretty wild and crazy things with these. These right here, these are child's play for what I can do. Of course, I'm working on that and that's the point of this video. But anyways, now I do think that most reptiles can thrive in a bioactive setup. It may not be the option for everyone out there or every reptile, especially if you're a breeder like me. Now, in all of my breeding groups, I don't have bioactive setups because, especially with the crested geckos, the gargoyle geckos, they're gonna dig and bury their eggs at the bottom of the setup, and during that, it's gonna mess up the plant's rooting systems, and it's gonna make it nearly impossible for me to find the eggs. Especially in some of the groups where I have 2 or 3 females, they're gonna be laying eggs essentially almost, I may have a female laying an egg every other week where I'm gonna have to dig in the setup and try to find the egg. So it just doesn't make sense. But yeah, not only that, but baby crested geckos, gargoyle geckos, lychees, chihuahuas, they really seem to thrive when you have a smaller setup where it's easier for them to access food. They feel very secure and they seem to grow faster in those setups. And of course, I'll put the link up here if you guys want to check out the video I've done on that before on housing a baby crested gecko. And it goes along with the other species of New Caledonia geckos as well. But yeah, so bioactive setup isn't necessarily the way to go 100% of the time, but if you do want to give an awesome home to your pet reptiles, I definitely recommend it and you should try it out for yourself. So let's go ahead and talk about these 2 setups right here. And yes, I said 2 because this is one build over here and then this is one build right here. It just has 2 dividers in the middle, kind of making it a 3-for-1 setup there. But yeah, so both of these builds I created from scratch, meaning I even built the cage itself. So these are both made out of PVC and acrylic. I've actually had this one for a while. I just now got around to upgrading it to a bioactive setup. But yeah, so with these bioactive setups right here, this is the first time I actually built a custom natural looking background and side panels for all of these. In all my other bioactive setups I've done for a while now, I'll do the substrate bioactive with the microfauna, living plants and everything, but I've never actually taken the time to build that custom beautiful background and side panels as well. So let's go ahead and talk about each cage individually, starting with this larger one over here. Now this one I built a while ago. I just got around to upgrading it to bioactive recently. Now this one houses our fat tailed geckos. Now we don't breed a ton of fat tailed geckos. We mostly breed New Caledonia species as well as different species of day geckos. So at least the two living in here, the two fat tails, they're more our pets. Now they were in this cage before, but they're living on a paper towel type substrate. They still had their rock cave that you see in here, which of course I transferred it into the new build because they love it. You can always find them hiding in there. And actually the girl's sticking her head out right now. She sees my finger moving and thinks I'm about to feed her. But yeah, so I've been really wanting to upgrade them for a long time because I do view them more like our pets. And ever since I moved them over to this new setup, I see them like probably 10 times more often now. They're always out wandering around. I built, and I'll show some close-ups of these guys right now. I built some custom hides for them out of cork bark in the back. The piece of cork bark in the middle actually goes deep underground into the substrate that they can kind of crawl into and hide in the back of. I've seen them going in there a few times now, but for the most part, they're still comfortable with their original rock cave. So you have the rock cave and then of course the water dish, and those are the only objects in there that are really not natural, but I used them in the last setup and they worked out well, so I just transferred them over. Now you'll see there are a few live plants in here. However, with the bioactive setup, you really want the plants to acclimate for almost a month when you first plant them in the setup. You want to add the microfauna and the plants and make sure that the ecosystem itself is thriving before adding a live reptile. Now I didn't really have that option, so once I got the build, I let it cure for a few days, but then I got the geckos in there pretty fast because I really wanted them to enjoy their new habitat. So don't do what I did. If you can, at least, definitely give your bioactive setup, once you build it, enough time to really thrive. It'll allow the plants to get nicely rooted in there. They'll grow bigger and healthier, a lot faster too, and your setup will be built for success for the long run if you do that. So now let's switch over to this enclosure right here. Like I said, this is one build with two dividers in the middle, making it 3 micro terrariums. And just like the other one, I also did a full custom natural looking background and side panels, mostly made of cocoa fiber, coconut husk, and cork bark. And of course I have live plants planted throughout these as well. Now, when I'm housing in these, actually the only one that has a gecko in it right now is the middle one. This is the one I completed first, of course. It is a tiny baby Lygodactylus Williamsi, a baby electric Blue Day Gecko, which I have the parents of that one in a nice bioactive setup in the living room. But yeah, so I've actually had, I have a few species of dwarf day geckos. I also have the Phelsuma Klemmeri or the neon day geckos. Now I have eggs from both species incubating right now, and I was trying to finish this build and get it going before the first egg hatched. Of course, the egg ended up hatching on the same day I literally finished the terrarium build. Kind of the same situation. You want more time to go by before introducing a reptile to it. But at least for me in both situations, it seems like the animals are thriving. And I'll show a couple close-ups. If you guys have never seen a baby electric Blue Day Gecko before. These things are like the tiniest little things. It's literally like the size of the tip of my pinky. So hopefully I can find them in here so you guys can see them on camera. But yeah, super, super awesome animal. And that's a big focus I have in the future, is to expand into different types of day gecko species. I already have grandis or giant day geckos. I have the standings day geckos that do really well here. And then of course the dwarf species. And once the neon day geckos start hatching, I'll be able to put them in one of these enclosures as well. And it gives me room to expand and keep them separated based on size, with the 2 dividers making a total of 3 terrariums. So yeah, that's all I have in this video. Just kind of wanted to show off the 2 terrariums for you guys. I'll definitely keep you updated on how successful I am with these. Of course, I want to do another really cool build and want to go all out in the next one. I'm just going to have to spend a little bit more time planning the setup itself, as well as what type of plants are going in there, and give it enough time to cure and acclimate over time before introducing anyone into it, which is what you should do. Don't do what I did. Let your terrariums acclimate first. So anyways, that's all I have for this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. So anyways, that's all I got. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment below, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.